Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, sweethearts. It's me again. Today we have such an exciting Paris baitlist video that I want to share with you. I can't wait to go through everything with you. But before we go into a ton of detail, I need to kind of chat to you darlings and tell you a few things as a disclaimer. First of all, shout out to my viewer who let me know her incredible score of being offered. She was actually offered 4 quota bags and she went home with 2 from Paris. But full disclaimer and disclosure here, she had never shopped in the Parisian boutiques previously. She was also there with her husband. He was very supportive. They were both trying together, which I think is very critical, and I'll talk about that later on in the video. And I think it's just super important to note that, because a lot of the time when people share Paris stories, they don't talk about if they've had previous history or not. She hadn't shopped there before, but she went there to build a profile. Okay, so she and she never scored through the official lottery. So without further ado, let me tell you everything about this incredible score from Paris. So as I said, she got 4 quota offers and she went home with 2. So let's start off with what she purchased. And it's also worth noting, before I forget, she was there at a very competitive time because she was there with her husband during Fashion Week. This is important. It was very, very competitive. As you know, Fashion Week at Big H is a bloodbath. It's incredibly competitive. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. All right, so let's talk about how she worked on her rodeo profile. So, you know, in fact, we'll make it a glamazism. Going to the rodeo is going to Paris. When she went to the rodeo, these are the things that she did to build her rodeo profile. And these are the things that she used essentially to build up her rodeo profile. She got 1 pair of exotic shoes. She got another pair of regular leather shoes. She got a diamond watch. It was a diamond watch with an exotic strap. She then got another exotic strap as well, and she also got a pair of men's shoes. She was then offered a very desirable Birkin in a really nice color, in a desirable size as well, and she was offered it in one of the stores. I'm always going to get, you know, questions like, was she offered it in the flagship, was she offered it, whatever. I'm not going to say when she was offered it, but she was offered it essentially as a walk-in, and I think that is relevant because she never won the lottery when she was there. They were there for like at least a week, and none of them won the lottery ever. But both of these offers came through like shopping with essays and came as walk-ins. Okay. So let's kind of go through what she got so we can understand the way she built up her profile. First of all, there's no question that the diamond watch with the exotic detail on the strap is obviously the crown jewel of her score. There's no question about it. But I also wanted to tell you, remember a few videos ago, I was telling you guys how I feel like exotic accessories at the brand is like an underserved category of shopping at Big H. For as long as Big H makes exotics, you might as well buy them if you like them there in terms of the accessories. So like exotic shoes, exotic fashion jewelry, and things like that, because I feel like it shows that you're someone who can withstand the sort of really high pricing of Big H products, because exotic accessories are very expensive at Big H. So buying an exotic a watch with a diamond watch with an exotic detail like strap means it's going to be more expensive than if it was just like plain leather. You know, buying then another watch strap, you know, as well, again in exotic, and the fact that she also bought a pair of exotic shoes, I feel like that really shows that you're someone who can handle the way Big H prices things. Big H knows that every single person who buys anything with exotic at the brand knows that their exotic goods are very expensive. The alligator, like patent alligator Kelly wallet from Big H is 10,000 euros in Paris. Like, you can take 10,000 euros and go to Louis Vuitton and get a fully thugged out lizard capucine that is handmade, you know, absolutely fantastic quality, and it's, I think it's about the same price as that, maybe even less. I think it's 8,000 or 9,000 euros. They know that their goods are very expensive. I think buying those exotic accessories shows that you're someone who, you know, money ain't a thing. You get me? Like, you're balling, like it's not a thing to you. So I think that those are the types of people that Big H wants to shop at their brand. Okay, so like I said, she bought those items. Now it's worth noting that the way that they shopped was like, they bought things at different boutiques, but over like the days that they were there. So not everything was purchased at one time. That is important to note, because I think I might get a question about that. Not everything was purchased at one time with one essay. There was like times when they bought things here, and then times when they bought things, you know, another day. But the day that they got the Birkin offer was the day that they bought the diamond watch with the exotic strap under her name, and that was the day that she got the Birkin offer at one of the 3 Parisian stores. All right, so awesome. So you guys, you get what's going on here. Timepieces, exotic accessories obviously count. Timepieces are incredibly important with diamonds. I always tell you guys that. Go for the timepieces with diamonds. I always tell you, and some of you are stubborn and start telling me, you know, you start giving me your thoughts on not playing the game. Let's talk about that for a second before I go into her husband's bait list. If you will not play the rodeo, honey, if you won't go to the Paris rodeo and play the rodeo, there are 100 other women, me included, who will replace you with rodeo bait. Okay? If you're going to go to Paris, make sure that you know what you're doing, and make sure obviously you watch my videos. Duh. Okay, obviously you should be doing that. All right, now let's go on to her husband's profile, which again purchased over a period of days at different stores. But we'll chat about that in detail, because I have to explain the way they got the second offer, which, as I said, was an exotic Birkin. 2 men's shirts, a men's cardigan, a piece of men's fashion jewelry, a men's tie, a fine jewelry ring with gold and diamonds for her, a exotic CDC for her, and an exotic belt for her. Okay, so this was all purchased, right? And then after buying this, another day they go back and her husband adds more bits and bobs. So he also gets a watch, very important, we'll talk about that in a second. He also buys a piece of outerwear for her, so a ready-to-wear outerwear piece for her, another pair of men's shoes, and another fine jewelry ring for her. Okay, so that is his profile. Let's talk about the tea and how the second offer came about. So the second offer came about, as I said, both of them had been shopping under their own profiles over a period of days at different stores. The second offer came about because he bought the watch and they were trying to get another walk-in, not at the same location, by the way, not at the same location where she got her first offer, at another store. And he, you know, gets the watch, and the essay is like, look, I'm sorry, I can't make it happen, but if you come back at another time on another day, we'll see what's popping, we'll see the tea. That's how the next offer came about. Like I said, I want to kind of protect their privacy, so I don't want to say the names of the stores that they scored at, but there are 3 stores, guys, so you can figure out which ones they are. There are 3 stores in Paris, honey. But that is essentially how it happened. So they were told to come back another day. They came back another day, and they were given a walk-in leather appointment, obviously based off the strength of their very strong rodeo profiles. Okay, there's no question that their rodeo profiles played a huge role in this. In this appointment, obviously it's under her husband's name, so I keep saying he was offered, they were offered, they were both offered, she was offered, but obviously they're a team, they're married, they're a couple, they're a unit, they were offered, whatever, you get what I'm saying, okay? Then they're given the walk-in appointment. They're told to come back, as I said. They're given the walk-in appointment, and then they're offered the exotic Birkin, and she's also offered another quota bag during that appointment, which she declined. Okay. So I should mention, in the first appointment, when she got the first Birkin at another store, the one under her profile, she was offered 2 quota bags, and obviously she chose, and obviously they're 2 different colors, and so they're 2 bags. She was offered 2 Birkins basically, and then she chose the one that she wanted, which, like I said, was very desirable. And then in this appointment, under her husband's name, she gets offered the exotic Birkin, and then another Birkin offer as well, but that one wasn't exotic. Okay, so 4 quota bag offers, and she goes home with 2. 1 under her profile, 1 under her husband's profile. Make sure you keep watching. We have so much more that we need to talk about. But before we go any further, go join my group, because some of you are stubborn. I don't know why. Go join my group. Go sign up to my newsletter. I share all of like the tea and intel I hear. I share it in my Facebook group first, then my Instagram. I don't want you guys to miss out, because some of you are just missing out on all these great things that are happening because you're not in my Facebook group and you don't follow me on Instagram. Correct it now. Go join the group right now. Go join, or go follow me on Instagram as well, and go sign up for my email newsletter. Okay. I think it's super important to acknowledge the fact that they never gave up. Okay. Building a strong rodeo babe profile is very important, whether it's Paris or you're shopping at your home store. There's no question, it's incredibly important. But they never gave up. Like, they never gave up, and they kept going, and I feel like that played just a huge role. They had a lot of ups and downs. There are other things which are maybe just a little bit too private, so I don't want to share too much, but it wasn't like a slam dunk. It wasn't easy. Okay, like I said, and I should have clarified that before she went, she let me know that she was going, and we were in constant communication while she was in Paris. I would give her my thoughts, I would give her my ideas. She'll tell me what she's doing and she's gonna laugh. I know she's gonna laugh when she sees this, but I would tell her, stick to the plan. Like, we made a plan, let's stick to the plan for most of it. But they also improvised and did their own thing. I'm so incredibly happy for her and her husband. I think it's really critical that her husband was so supportive and willing to play the game. If you're watching this and your husband or boyfriend is supposed to be helping you on your trip, you need to learn from her husband. Okay, because he was very supportive. He was supporting her. He was building his own rodeo profile. He went to the store alone one day because I thought it was a good idea as well. He was willing to make it happen for her, but they also worked as a team as well. So I think if you're a couple, work as a team. Now, I was telling her, not everyone's husband or boyfriend can do what her husband did, you know. He was so supportive. Not everyone can do that. If your husband or boyfriend, like if you're going to Paris, if your husband or boyfriend can't smile, boo-boo, in any of the 3 Paris stores, leave him at the hotel and you go duke it out on your own, okay? Because I feel like when a boyfriend or husband is moaning and whinging inside the 3 Paris stores, it makes you look bad. If your man is not going to be supportive, he's not going to build his rodeo profile, he's not going to buy prêt-à-porter or timepieces or buy other men's bits and bobs, leave him at the hotel, honey, okay? Because he could just ruin things. Your husband should be supportive, or your boyfriend or your partner should be supportive. If they can't be supportive, don't bring them, because it will just be a Debbie Downer on the whole approach of, you know, trying to score there as well, okay? Another thing which I think is really worth mentioning is the fact that, like I said, they never won the lottery. So because they never won the lottery, they really had to churn offers through the 3 Paris stores as walk-ins. It was very, very difficult. Although I should mention, they never once went to the leather desk at FSH. I think this is worth mentioning because That is something which many people do. Honestly, I don't really feel like that works anymore. I feel like that's been exhausted now because the leather desk, the leather people at FSH just say no, 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 no. And also something else that we both noticed during her journey, her Paris Odyssey, is they're getting really, really strict now. All 3 Paris stores are getting quite strict about having the online appointment. Now, let's kind of just deal with the elephant in the room. If you see her success, she got 4 quota offers. And before we talk about the elephant in the room, a lot of people misunderstand what a Paris offer is. A Paris offer is not the essay saying, I can get you a Birkin, a Kelly, or a Constance without showing it to you. An offer is them physically showing you the bag. Like, hey, I have this, them, you know, because you know how like they do it in Paris, they tell you, you know, come with me, or that's what people say, come with me, and they take you to a private room and then they show you the bag, you know, in the box or whatever. It's them actually physically showing you the bag. Another thing, because I keep seeing people say that, I saw someone say that in another group, like, oh, I was offered, you know, a bunch of bags. Well, and then I remember someone was like, hey, well, did you see them? Oh, no, I didn't. The SA just told me I could get a Picotin, I could get an Evan. Well, if they didn't show it to you, that's noise, boo-boo. They need to show it to you. So I just want to be clear, because I think some of you might be like, well, maybe the SA was just talking. No, she was offered 4 bags. She was offered 4 quota bags. 2 in her like walk-in appointment and 2 in the walk-in appointment under her husband's name, and she was physically shown each one. I think it's really worth mentioning that if you're in Paris and the SA says maybe I can get you a Constance but doesn't show it to you, that's not an offer. Sorry, it's not. And no, it's just not an offer. And before anyone starts, let me stop you right there. It's not an offer. Okay, so let's just be really, really clear about that. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room when it pertains to the Paris rodeo is that people just believe information that's outdated and old. Sorry. My favorite cartoon is the Flintstones. That's actually my favorite cartoon. That's my mom's favorite cartoon. Do you want to be a character in the Flintstones, honey? Are you there with Wilma Flintstone and Betty Rubble in the Stone Age with like old shoes, like a stone house and old information? Or are we in 2022 with accurate information? When people say, oh, it doesn't matter having a profile, it literally doesn't matter, that is not accurate for 2022. Okay, it isn't. Yes, you might be a Pegasus unicorn. You might be a Pegasus unicorn, and Hermes the messenger god and Pegasus might decide, look, we're going to make you a unicorn. By the way, fun fact, there's actually a statue of Hermes the messenger god and Pegasus in the ceiling of the Sevres store. I remember when I was there last time, I took a picture of it. You might be a unicorn and you might get offered a Birkin, Kelly, or Constance with no purchase history. I am doing a tally so far of people who have scored and have told me through my group and through Instagram and through email, people who reach out and say, hey, Kagem, I scored in Paris this year. I'm doing a running tally. I'm obviously including my viewer as well. There's 17 people who have scored. Of the 17 who have scored, okay, and this, again, is not a empirical study, okay, it's not scientific. Of the 17 who scored, only 1 was a true Pegasus, Hermes the messenger god unicorn, meaning she walked in there, her and her husband were offered a quota bag without spending a pound, a penny, shilling, euro. I popped out and I came back, and then there's like workmen here who are fixing some things which is like directly above my lady lair in the attic. So they're making a ton of noise. So I was like, let me come outside to the like veranda of our property. My swimming pool is just over there, and film. I'm sorry, it's super hot today. It's like 30 degrees Celsius. There are all kinds of things flying around. This is Africa after all, so forgive me in advance for any noise or people yelling. I've put on the extra dual makeup so I look presentable in this video. I hope that it doesn't melt in this heat. But let's carry on, shall we? Okay, so I've written down a bunch of things that I wanted to also chat about that I think is really important. So I think you can see from her success story, it's so important to live in reality. It's possible that you might be a Pegasus unicorn. You might be a unicorn. If you are a unicorn, I'm happy for you. But in 2022, realistically, if 1 out of 17 people is a true Pegasus unicorn and 16 people are building rodeo profiles and all the rest of it, it means that most of us at the end of the day will be building rodeo profiles at the 3 Parisian stores. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't understand people who say they love Big H and they love Big H's craftsmanship, but you don't want to buy any other bits and bobs from the brand. Like, I don't really understand how you can say you love Big H but you don't want to buy anything else from the brand. That doesn't really make sense. No one can say that they truly love Big H but they don't want to buy other things. That makes no sense to me. I love Versace, honey, not just the Medusa. I love the Greca print. I love the new Medusa bags. I love the new Greca Goddess bags. I love the brand. Same with Cartier. I love everything that Cartier does. I'm not just gonna say, oh, I like Cartier, but you know, I don't want to support the brand and buy other things. I mean, that doesn't really make sense. So building a rodeo profile is really, really, really important. There's no doubt about it. Now, I want to talk about the categories that you should focus on based off her success story. So it goes without saying, men's prêt-à-porter, men's jackets, men's shirts, all kinds of men's ready to wear, men's watches. I like the Arceau. That's not the watch that her husband got, by the way. It's not that one. I'm now just going to tell you watches that I like and things which I like that I think will look really good on your rodeo profile. So like men's watches like the Arceau, women's prêt-à-porter, but the really expensive, pricey women's prêt-à-porter. So like the leather dresses, the and any kind of leather ready to wear. The silk ready to wear I think is really, really important as well. They have silk dresses, like I said, the cashmere. Obviously for most of you it's like autumn, winter, it's cold, but I saw some silk dresses that I could buy there as well. And obviously silk is great for this heat because it's so hot today. And then of course the diamond fine jewelry. So the fine jewelry that has diamonds in it, that's made from gold. I like the half pavé diamond Kelly bangle, that's 12,000 euros in Paris. I also like the Ariane ring, which I've told you guys about before. There's a diamond farandole ring, which is really cute. There's also a diamond finesse a bracelet that's also really nice. There's a Constance bracelet as well that's made from gold with blue sapphires, and it's like $7,800. I posted it in my Facebook group a while ago. You should go and obviously join Da, but I think like those Constance like charm, the charm bracelets and the Birkin charm ones as well. I think those would look amazing. So all kinds of diamond fine jewelry. I think gold fine jewelry with diamonds counts more if you ask me, but yeah, obviously those ones I think are good. And then the exotic accessories, I think we've seen with her success how much like exotic accessories count. So she had like exotic CDCs, she had exotic shoes. I feel like those really count. The exotic SLGs, the alligator, I was about to say croc, the alligator Kelly wallets, the alligator compact Kelly wallets, the alligator Gige clutches as well. Those ones really count as well. And then the coats, I feel like coats look really good on your profile. Obviously furniture, so like tables and chairs, and then luggages as well. I feel like the homewares only counts if you're buying like a full set of like tableware, so maybe like a full set of the mosaic or whatever. But of course, you know, their porcelain does count. Guys, I told you it's Africa. There are all kinds of things buzzing in the air here. I'm sorry. Because and also the workmen keep interrupting me, so I'm going to have to heavily edit this video. Now I want to talk to you guys about my opinions on her score. Obviously, I'm incredibly happy for her. As I told you guys before, we were chatting a lot, and because she's in Paris, Paris is 1 hour behind Dar. I would, chat to her in the morning before heading to work, and when I clock off for the day from the office, we would, catch up, and she'd let me know how she was doing each day. If you're heading to Paris and you want to ask my advice, go join my Facebook group and send me a Facebook Messenger. It's much easier that way for me because I'm always logged into Facebook because I use Facebook a lot for my businesses when I'm doing ads and stuff like that. So I'm always logged into the Facebook system, whatever. But I was just so incredibly happy for her because I just think it was so well deserved. I think that she got 2 offers for every appointment because she just had a truly strong profile. I know there are going to be some of you, anytime I do Paris videos, there are always people trying to fight me in comments. Well, I know someone who never had a purchase history, was offered 10 Birkins in 1 appointment. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay. Even if someone was offered a few quota bags without doing without having a really strong rodeo profile in Paris, honestly, that's the exception than the norm, and that was ages ago. In 2022, 99% of people shopping in Paris have a profile or are building a profile once they get there. I have a profile in Paris because I was there in January, and when I go back this autumn winter, I will continue, to build on my rodeo profile as well when I go there. The idea, I think people get really stuck on this idea that you don't have to buy anything. That I think was true a few years ago. I do not believe that is accurate today, only because there's so much competition. I think there was a VIP client on Instagram who posted on stories because she was in Paris recently. I don't think she scored anything. And she said that she was told by the SA that 13,000 people a day applying. I mean, just think about this like you're a businesswoman or a businessman. There's 13,000 people a day applying for the lottery. Who are you going to give the Birkin, Kelly or Constance to? Someone who truly loves Big H and is showing their loyalty for Big H by buying a bunch of products that they obviously hopefully like and support, but are top tier products in those top tier categories, or someone who doesn't want to buy anything else from Big H and doesn't want to show loyalty. Come on, stop. We all know that the people who show loyalty will be the ones who get the offer. I want to share with you some of my unpopular opinions that I think you guys should know. And these are my unpopular Paris opinions. You don't have to agree. Frankly, to be honest, I don't really care. If you don't agree with me, I don't care, because after my experience in January, chatting to so many of you and then going back this winter to do it all over again, I feel like I have a different perspective. That's a fresh perspective because I don't have a home store in my home country. So I feel like I'm able to offer just a fresh perspective on Paris. Those of you with home stores, maybe you won't be able to see it as clearly as I do. So I want to share some of my unpopular opinions. Number 1, people don't want to face reality. When my subscriber was heading to Paris, I said, listen, don't follow the things, that you hear from other sources that say it doesn't matter that you have a profile or not. Unless you're a Pegasus unicorn, I think it does matter to show loyalty, and I do think it's important. I think the good thing is that she listened to me, and she told me to tell you guys that she listened to me, and she definitely does say that I helped her in her success. I was like, whenever I say this, the girls are mad at me, and she's like, make sure you say it. So people don't want to face reality. The reality is you need to have a profile, and you need to treat it like your home store. If you treat it like, I want to go there and get lucky, you're actually giving your power away to someone who you don't know. People say, oh, you can click with an SA. I don't believe that you can click with Parisian SAs unless you're French or unless you live in Paris full time. And the reason for that is I just don't feel like you can click with someone who sees hundreds of people every single day. Don't put yourself at a disadvantage because you're stubborn. Some of you are very stubborn. You follow influencers and you think, well, how come the influencer got a mini Kelly and she bought, perfumes, or she never bought anything? Are you an influencer? Do you have 1 million followers on Instagram? Do you have 800,000 followers on Instagram? Do you have 500,000 followers on Instagram? Do you have 100K followers on TikTok or Instagram? Yes or no? If you don't have 100K on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram, boo-boo, honey, you are just like me and you're going to be treated just like everyone else. Don't be stubborn because you think that you shouldn't have to show loyalty. Let me be very clear. Paris is so cutthroat that if you don't want to show loyalty and build a Parisian profile, there are 100 other women who will replace you today, and you will just be, okay, you'll be thrown in the swimming pool, honey, okay, and you will be fighting for your life in the pool. So don't be stubborn. Make sure that if you watch my videos, listen, okay? I'm not saying I know everything, but I do think I have a fresh perspective that you don't see in like lots of other groups and forums. You might be a unicorn, but don't expect to be one. You might get the lottery without spending a penny, pound, shilling, euro. I don't dispute that. But chance says you're probably not a unicorn. You're probably not a Pegasus unicorn. So don't expect to be one. Go in there with the full expectation that you're not going to win the lottery. And then if you win the lottery, it's a bonus. I think the next one is FSH is too competitive at the moment, in my opinion, unless you're going to blow a big bag of bait. I personally wouldn't go there to build a profile. That's me. And when I go this autumn winter, I'm going to decide between the other two Parisian stores. I will not be building my profile at the mothership store. It's just too competitive. It's too cutthroat. It is absolutely cutthroat at the mothership store. It's too competitive. I'd rather be a big fish in a small pond. And my next unpopular opinion is even outside of Paris, a lot of the boutiques in Europe are very competitive. The Geneva store will not sell Birkin, Kellys or Constances to foreigners who don't live in Switzerland if you are not a resident of the country. But I heard that you can get Picotins and Evelyns in the morning if you go in the morning and queue. At the Geneva store, the Monaco store requires bait. I heard about someone there who spent a bunch of money and didn't get offered anything. You need to have very deep pockets. If you do have deep pockets, you can try there. They have a lot of exotics there, so they might offer you an exotic bag instead. The Lyon store, saw someone on TikTok who got offered an Evelyn after buying Pret-a-Porter. Again, another very competitive store. Lyon, I think there used to be some hope there a few years ago, but too many people went there because of social media, and now the Lyonnais boutique is very, very, very competitive as well. Just before I go, I want to talk about something which I was thinking, okay? I feel like there are two animals that can sum up what is going on in Paris. A lamb and a leopard. Lambs go to the abattoir, honey, and they don't come back. Leopards live to fight another day. Leopards are so bold that they have no issue trying to even eat baby like lion cubs. Leopards are so brave that they see a lion. If they see a lioness and her cubs, and if the cubs are left undefended, a leopard will go there and try and end their life, okay? Are you a leopard or are you a lamb? Because the leopards are in Paris, honey, and they are scoring, they're hustling, they're making things happen, they're building their profiles, they're succeeding, they're getting really coveted quota bags outside of the lottery. Lambs are just thinking, oh, I want to be a unicorn, and I don't feel like I should have to buy anything, and I just want to be a unicorn, you know? I remember a while ago, I featured, I think I told you guys something I saw on Passport. There was this woman, she claimed that she was getting all of these bags. She claimed she didn't have any connections. She said that she didn't know anyone, and she got a Kelly Pachet and all these other incredible offers. You can go see it on Passport. I'm sorry, but that wasn't believable to me. I think I intimated to you guys in that video that I just didn't believe it. I don't believe that can happen without showing a lot of loyalty or having a VIP connection. So don't believe everything that you see on social media. Don't believe it, because everything, the way things can be curated and presented on social media, I think is very different to what's going on in the ground. It is so ruthlessly competitive at the 3 Parisian stores. Don't go to Paris thinking you're going to be a Pegasus unicorn. If you win the lottery, fantastic. But the chances of being a unicorn in Paris, being given a cancellation at the leather desk at FSH without having a profile in Paris, without showing any loyalty in Paris, is basically zero. Please don't bother being like, oh, but I got one and that happened for me in 2020. We don't care about 2020. 2020 is like Wilma Flintstone putting her makeup on, putting her wig on. It was literally the Stone Age. We're talking about October 2022. There is so much competition. Go into Paris the way my subscriber went to Paris. She had a plan, she knew what bait she was buying. Her and her husband took this very seriously, and they built strong profiles and left with 4 quota offers, 2 quota offers per appointment, and all of them were Birkins. Who does that? Okay, I'll tell you who does that. Someone who knows what time it is and doesn't play around and doesn't think, oh, let me just leave this up to chance. I don't know how a lot of you are like okay with leaving this up to chance on a whim that the essay is going to like you and think that you are somehow special compared to all the other incredible human beings who are going to the 3 Parisian stores every single day. I think a better way to do it is to give yourself more control. Treat Paris like your home store away from home. Go buy beautiful things that you like, that are in those really important categories, and build a fantastic profile. Who doesn't need really nice fine jewelry for events and stuff? Like, it's wedding season here. It's wedding season here in Tanzania. I have weddings to go to. I have baptisms to go to. I have, church events to go to. I have lots of things to go to where I do need diamond fine jewelry. I'm wearing this costume bracelet that my mum gave me on my wedding day. I could go and get a diamond bracelet from Big H or from Cartier, wherever. Of course, my preference would be to go to Cartier, but I don't mind buying a beautiful Big H diamond bracelet, and then I get an awesome quota off as well, if it can happen. Of course, it's never a guarantee, but if it can happen, that would also be amazing. So make sure that you go there and you build a profile. Nothing is guaranteed in Big H world. We all know that nothing is guaranteed. I know some of you are going to be like, what if you buy a bunch of bait items and then you don't leave with an offer? That can happen, that can happen. But I think that if you choose the other 2 stores, so not the mothership, I think you have a higher chance of scoring outside of the lottery. If you win the lottery, that's even better. I would love to know what you guys think about her success story. I'm so incredibly happy for her and her husband. 4 quota offers, 4 Birkin offers in 1 week across 2 profiles, 2 Birkin offers per walk-in appointment outside of the lottery, because they focus on what matters at Big H, showing loyalty in those top tier, ultra luxury categories that we always talk about on this channel. Back inside now. So as I was saying, I feel like my group honestly is one of the best sources online in the Anglophone world for the tea about Paris Big H. So my group is obviously a general luxury group, we post about a lot of houses, but when people tend to go to Paris, they will report back and tell us the tea. Obviously when I go, I'll definitely tell group members first, and then I'll tell people on Instagram, and then I'll come onto YouTube last. So if you love Big H, you want to know more about Paris, you're heading to Paris, I think you should join. It's linked below. Obviously join my newsletter as well, obviously, and go read my blog. It's also linked below. And obviously follow me on Instagram. It's really important to follow me on my other platforms because I only post 3 times a week. Next week I'm only posting twice because I won't be posting on Tuesday because I have something to do on Tuesday, which is really important. So make sure you just go follow me on all my socials so you can stay up to date with everything. What did you guys think of her incredible 4 Birkin offers and 2 the ones, and she left with 2, so she got 4 Birkin offers. I still can't believe it, that's why I keep repeating it. She got 4 Birkin offers from the Paris stores, 2 on her profile, 2 on her husband's profile, and each person took 1. So she took 1 at her first walk-in, and then on her husband's walk-in she took 1 as well. So yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think about this incredible score. I'm super excited. This has also given me hope as well. We were kind of chatting about maybe things that could have been done differently. And we did both agree on one thing, because I think a lot of this is personal. It also depends on your personality. But one thing we agreed on is you should pick a store and succeed at that particular store. I think that gives you like a really good chance as well outside of the lottery. Nothing is guaranteed. You could still go to Paris and flop. I could still go and flop. Nothing is guaranteed, but I think the key thing is like giving yourself the best possible chance. So I will update you guys once I'm in Paris. You'll know when I'm there, because when I'm there, I'll just come on here and be like, hey guys, I'm already there. I'd love to know what you guys think about everything, and if you have any questions. In general, whenever we do these bait videos, we don't talk about amounts, because that's not really the stuff that you're really supposed to be doing whenever you're talking about big H and bait. We talk about bait, we talk about playing the rodeo and playing the game, playing the Birkin game, playing the big H Hunger Games, but we don't say the amount. I don't really feel like ratios matter in Paris, to be honest. I think it's more about building loyalty in the top tier categories and the ultra luxury categories. I think if you think about it in terms of ratios, you're going to be very disappointed in terms of your profile there. It's about the categories that you shop in. There are certain categories that have more weight than others. So that is how you should think about it. Don't think about it in terms of the sort of classic bait ratio, because I think that's where people go wrong. They think about it in terms of, oh, do I need to do 1-to-1, or do I need to go 2-to-1, or whatever. I don't really feel like that helps. You really should be thinking about the categories that you're shopping in. I've told you guys the categories. I'm going to tell you again, because some of you are stubborn, okay? And before any of you are like, it doesn't matter, let me tell you one more time, okay? Let me stop you right there, okay? It absolutely matters to build a strong profile. Everyone talks about loving Big H, honey, loving her craftsmanship, loving her wig, but no one wants to support the brand in other categories. If you are a Big H person, show loyalty in other categories when you're shopping at the mothership rodeo in Paris, okay? It's very, very important. Go build your profiles. So just to remind you one more time, because some of you are stubborn, okay? Menswear. Okay. Fine jewelry, gold, diamond fine jewelry. Prêt-à-porter for men's, men's obviously, as I said, and women's. Outerwear, coats, furniture, luggages as well, really pricey, homewares, and the exotic SLGs, exotic accessories, exotic shoes. Okay, so those are like the really top tier ones. I'm not going to talk about silks and twillies and bag charms and all the rest of it, because I think I've made it quite clear what you should really be focusing on, because the stakes are so high. In my opinion, if you ask me, I don't think Paris is worth it if you are not willing to build a Parisian profile and buy beautiful items that you love in those ultra top tier luxury categories at the horse. I personally don't think it's worth going if you're not willing to do that. And let's be very, very clear. If you are not willing to do that, like I told you, boo-boo, you will be replaced by other people who are flying into Paris and who are willing to do it. It's up to you. You might decide, I don't want to do it, and you might be a Pegasus unicorn. Fantastic. But the chances of being a Pegasus unicorn, realistically, to be honest, is just very, very low. And I don't know, honey, I think maybe it's just the businesswoman in me. I plan everything, I plan things. I'm not leaving it up to chance that the essay is going to like me. What if the essay doesn't like me? And trying to like figure out how to like make the essay like you and all this stuff. I think all of that is noise and nonsense. If you love Big H, as you said you do, and now my alarm is going off. Okay, if you love Big H the way you said you do, you will be able to show loyalty by buying lots of beautiful Big H products that are going to make you look really good, so that when you want to get a beautiful quota offer, it's not going to be that hard. Another thing, just to confirm, because again, I keep getting this question a lot and there's a lot of misinformation. The Constance is a quota bag in France. I don't know why people keep saying it's not a quota bag. Whomever has said that is misinformed. it is a quota bag, okay? So just to be very clear, and broadly speaking, it's a quota bag in Europe as well, okay? So don't be like, well, I'm gonna ask for a Constance. It's Birkin, Kelly, Constance, BKC, the 3 holy grail quota bags of the Ponytail, the orange stallion herself, okay? So I packed a lot of stuff in. I'm so sorry about today. I've had to like go to different parts of the house to film. I had to sit outside for a bit, but I really hope that you have liked this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing and turn on notifications. I'd love to see you on all of my various social platforms. I'd love to see you guys there. If you have questions that are maybe quite private, you can also send me a PM or on Facebook, or you can DM me on Instagram, and as long as I can respond, I will. Generally speaking, I will only tell you to do things which I am willing to do. I am willing to buy like really cool bits and bobs from the top tier categories. I am willing to do it. I like their fine jewelry. I like their timepieces, particularly like the Nantucket. I feel like once you start looking, you find things that you like. I do like the diamond fine jewelry and the timepieces and the porcelain, and obviously the exotic accessories. So I'm gonna focus on the things that, the top tier categories that I have just mentioned, but the ones that I like. Some of you really like their ready to wear. If you like their ready to wear, you should focus there. But remember what I said, 100% cashmere, the 100% silk pieces, and the really pricey like leather pieces and the leather outerwear. I really hope that you liked this video, and yeah, I cannot wait to hear from you and to hear your comments and your feedback. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in my next video.